Flag City Honor Flight returned home last night to a big celebration at the Grand Air Terminal of Toledo Express.
What made it so special was the fact that most of these veterans were Vietnam veterans, and they didn't get a friendly welcome when they came back after serving our country.
After a day in Washington to see the memorials, changing of the guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and Arlington Cemetery, the Flag City Honor Flight arrived back in Toledo mid-evening.
And when that hangar door went up, most veterans were stunned by what was waiting for them on the other side. A huge crowd of friends and family with signs and American flags.
There were smiles and, yes, tears. About a quarter of the soldiers who served in Vietnam were drafted, but after their one-year tour ended, they came home to abuse by an America that had turned against the war and against the men in uniform.
I don't have words. I wasn't expecting any of this.
People that are younger did not understand what you guys went through and came home.
Well, it was the opposite of this, I guarantee you that. There wasn't anybody at the airport. Called us baby killers and all kind of spit on us.
Wow, that is heartbreaking. And all these years later, you can still see that it impacts the veterans. Tuesday, Honor Flight chipped away at a waiting list for Vietnam veterans that goes back about 6 years.
And Dan, we're talking 50 years or more as far as these guys, the experience they went through, and then 50 years later, it's still as precious to them to have this, isn't it?
So out and around Toledo, grocery store, wherever it is, veterans approach me all the time and go, hey, love your Honor Flight coverage. Thank you for doing that. And I said, well, have you done Honor Flight yet? I don't want to do it. Like, why? I can't go to the wall. I don't want to. I just don't want to experience those emotions again. I said, I guess I just want to convince everyone that going to the wall will help you. Spending a day with other Vietnam veterans will help you because it starts a dialogue going, and that welcome home you get in the evening, that show of appreciation for the Vietnam veterans that they never ever had before, it really does a wonderful job in
it's cathartic, right?
It is totally cathartic. It's healing. For some, it'll be a start of healing, but at least it gets the dialogue going and takes you back there. And yes, it hurts to go back 50 years ago and think about the abuse you took, but realizing our world has changed, and if you're a Vietnam veteran, we appreciate you now. We didn't then, but we do now. It's so helpful.
And if I can, the other thing there is commitment to these flights, and there is investment for these flights. So if people are still interested, they're going to happen.
Oh, Friday night, we raised $250,000 for Flag City Honor Flight. That's going to take us into, that's for 2.5 planes, and that's for getting the other fundraisers going on. So things are very healthy right now with Flag City Honor Flight.
And you put together a special piece of this Honor Flight yesterday.
So, yeah, Paul Kwapik put together a beautiful video that has all of the day from beginning to end, and we showed a portion of it last hour, and I was crying watching it, and you will too. It's really emotional to see, and it's going to be online. It'll be shown on WTOL 11 this weekend as well.
All right, Dan.